If you are living on Social Security, SSDI, or VA benefits right now, I need you to stop everything and pay close attention to what I am about to share with you. This is not just another video with confusing government talk or empty promises. This is real information that could affect your bank account, your peace of mind, and your ability to keep a roof over your head and food on your table. I know how hard it is out there right now. I hear from people just like you. Every single day, folks who have worked their entire lives, paid into the system for decades, and now find themselves counting every dollar just to get by. The cost of groceries has gone through the roof, rent keeps climbing, medicine costs more than ever, and yet your monthly check barely moves. It feels like the world has forgotten about you, but I want you to know that you are not forgotten here. There has been a lot of talk recently about January 29th and IRS payment schedules, and I know many of you have been hearing the word stimulus floating around again. You might be wondering if this is real, if it applies to you, and whether money is actually coming your way. I am going to break all of this down for you in plain and simple language, because you deserve to understand exactly what is happening without being left in the dark or misled by confusing headlines. Let me start by saying that January is always a stressful month for seniors and retirees. This is when cost of living adjustments kick in, Medicare premiums get updated, and tax season officially begins. When you hear that the IRS has something happening on January 29th, it is completely natural to feel worried or anxious. You might be asking yourself if there is money coming that you need to claim, if there is something you are supposed to do, or if you might miss out on something important. I understand that fear, because when you are living on a fixed income, every single dollar matters. Missing a payment or not understanding a benefit could mean the difference between paying your electric bill or sitting in the cold. Here is what you need to know about January 29th. This date is part of the IRS payment processing schedule that happens at the beginning of every year. It is when the IRS starts releasing certain payments related to tax credits, adjustments, and corrections from prior filings. Now, I want to be very clear with you because I respect you too much to give you false hope. This is not a brand new stimulus program that Congress just passed. There is no new law sending everyone a big check just because it is January. What is happening is that money that was already authorized under existing tax rules is being released according to the IRS timeline. For some people, this means they will receive payments during this window, but it depends entirely on their individual tax situation. Many of you watching this are living entirely on Social Security or retirement benefits, and you do not file taxes every year because your income is too low. If that describes you, I want you to understand that the January 29th IRS schedule might not directly affect you unless you filed a return or claimed a specific credit in a prior year. The IRS only sends payments to people when there is a legal reason to do so, such as a refund, a credit owed, or a correction that was approved. If you did not file anything and you were not owed anything, you will not automatically receive an IRS payment just because of this date. I know that might be disappointing to hear, but I would rather tell you the truth than get your hopes up for something that is not coming. Now, for those of you who did file a tax return in the past, even if it was just to report a small amount of pension income or to claim a credit you qualified for, there is a chance you could see a payment during this period. One of the most common reasons seniors receive IRS payments in January is something called the Recovery Rebate Credit. In past years, this credit allowed people who missed out on stimulus payments to claim them later on their tax return. While the big stimulus checks from the pandemic era are no longer being issued, the IRS is still processing corrections and delayed credits for people whose records were incomplete or needed adjustments. If this applies to you, you might see a deposit show up in your bank account or receive a check in the mail. I also want to explain something that confuses a lot of people. Your Social Security payment, your SI payment, your SSDI payment, and your VA benefits are completely separate from IRS payments. These benefits come from different government agencies on their own schedules, and the IRS has nothing to do with when you receive them. If your Social Security normally arrives on the second Wednesday of the month, that is not going to change because of January 29th. However, You might receive an IRS payment in addition to your regular benefits if you are owed money from the tax side of things. When this happens, it can feel confusing because suddenly there is extra money in your account that you were not expecting. If you see a deposit labeled as coming from the IRS, it is likely related to taxes or credits, not your monthly benefit. I know some of you are wondering if you are going to be first in line for any payments. The honest answer is that the IRS does not prioritize people based on age or how much you need the money. Payments go out based on processing status. People who filed their taxes early, whose records match IRS systems perfectly, and who do not require any manual review tend to get paid first. If you have direct deposit set up with the IRS from a previous tax refund, you will likely see any eligible payment faster than someone waiting for a paper check. Paper checks can take weeks longer because they have to be printed and mailed, so patience is important if you are expecting something. For those of you on C, I want to address something specifically. C eligibility is based on your income and resources, and some of you might be worried that receiving an IRS payment could affect your benefits. In most cases, tax refunds and credits do not count as income for C purposes, but you should still keep records of any payment you receive, just in case you need to explain it later. The same goes for SSDI recipients. Your disability benefits are generally not affected by IRS tax payments, but it is always wise to keep documentation so you have proof of where the money came from. If you are finding this information helpful and you want to stay informed about Social Security news, benefit updates, and everything that affects seniors living on fixed incomes, I really encourage you to subscribe to this channel right now. Just hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. I am here to help you navigate this complicated system and make sure you understand your rights and your benefits. We are building a community of people who look out for each other, and I would love for you to be part of it. Now, let me talk about something that worries me every single tax season, and that is scammers. When headlines start talking about IRS payments and stimulus money, the scammers come out in full force. They know that seniors are often targeted because they are trusting and because they need the money. I want you to remember this and never forget it. The IRS will never call you, text you, or email you asking for personal information. They will never demand that you pay a fee to receive a payment. They will never threaten to arrest you or cancel your benefits if you do not act immediately. If anyone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS and asking for your Social Security number, bank account information, or a payment, hang up the phone immediately. It is a scam. Real IRS communications come through official mail, and legitimate payments do not require you to do anything except wait for them to arrive. I also want to encourage you not to panic. If you hear about January 29th and nothing shows up in your account right away, processing takes time and the IRS works through payments in stages. A delay does not mean you have been denied or forgotten. It just means the system is working through its verification steps. These steps are actually designed to protect you from fraud and make sure the right people get the right payments. If you are expecting a refund or a credit and it has not arrived yet, give it time before assuming something is wrong. For those of you who receive pension income, I want to make sure you understand how this fits into the picture. Your pension payments come from your former employer, a pension fund, or a government retirement system. The IRS does not control when you get your pension. However, if you have taxes withheld from your pension throughout the year, you might be owed a refund if too much was taken out. This refund would come from the IRS during tax season, which is why pension recipients sometimes see IRS deposits in January or February. It is not stimulus money, it is simply a return of taxes that you overpaid. As we move further into this tax season, you are going to hear a lot of noise from different sources. Some websites and videos will exaggerate routine IRS activity to get clicks and views. They might use scary headlines or promise huge payments that are not realistic. I want you to be careful about where you get your information. Stick with sources that explain things calmly and honestly, even if the truth is not as exciting as the rumors. Your financial peace of mind is more important than chasing after payments that might not exist. What I really want you to take away from this is that you are not alone in this. Millions of seniors across America are in the same situation, trying to stretch every dollar and hoping for a little bit of relief. The system is complicated and often feels like it was designed to confuse you, but that is exactly why I make these videos. I want to cut through the confusion and give you clear answers that you can actually use. Whether you are on Social Security retirement, SC, SSDI, VA benefits, or living on a small pension, you deserve to understand what is happening with your money and your benefits. If you have not already, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Every subscription helps me reach more seniors who need this information, and it costs you nothing. Together, we can make sure that the people who need help the most are not left behind or taken advantage of. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your time, and I will keep fighting to bring you the updates and information that matter most. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.